Okay, welcome back. This is going to be another study with me session. I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but let's go anyway. Anyways. Quick and fast. Fast and furious. Check something. Go. Alright. We've been doing Django. We've been doing AWS EC2. Alright. Let's do AWS, Django, React, PyTorch, and web vulnerabilities. Yeah, because a good full stack engineer should be able to do testing, but also security testing. All right. Okay, let's go. Ouch. Let's continue with AWS. Okay, 1 second. Why is it dark? I'm not using dark mode. Dark mode enable, dark mode disable, but still dark. Wait, what? Anyways, now this time we will continue with AWS S3 documentation. Yes, let's fire this up. So let's see what we've been doing last week. We've been basically we've been recalling nodes from AWS EC2 instances, type of instances, instance families, CMRIGT, CPU architectures and vendors like AMD, Intel, and AWS itself. We've been talking about the spot instances, dedicated instances, reserved instances, networking, storage, auto-scaling groups, application load balancers. Now, we also remembered about AMIs, hypervisors, and some other additional things like CloudWatch, AEM roles, SSM, and metadata, SSH access to the servers, etc. Now let's continue with AWS S3. Where was I? Well, last thing I've been looking into was AWS S3 multiple things. Let me check that. We learn about these are my notes. Okay. Working with objects. This is my partial notes. This is not at all. I need to have my blah blah blah. Alright, so we've been looking into S3 buckets. What are the properties of the buckets? Naming conventions, restrictions, quotas, mounting buckets to Linux environments, etc. And regular operations like listing, emptying, deleting. And then we've been talking about working with objects. how to create an object, no, I mean how to upload an object, how to copy, move, download, multi-part uploads. We've been talking about the single sign infrequent access object, which is supposed to be much more faster. We've been talking about tables, where AWS has these S3 tables where we can query data without having to list everything, and instead we can do like SQL queries to search for specific object based on the file name, maybe the metadata information, tags, so we can query whatever we want. Because AWS S3 has tables, we can query with SQL language. We can override with lambdas the get, the list, and the hit requests. Cool. We can do batch operations if we want to add metadata or tags in a bulk operation to a bunch of files, on which we require a JSON manifest to specify which kind of or what pattern of the files we want to modify, and specify the lambda. No, I mean just the objects and the permissions needed. That's what has to be documented, or I mean explicitly defined in the JSON manifest. And we can do a lot of things with these batch operations in S3, like copy, change tags, store, get files from Glacier storage class, replicate, etc., etc. SQL table or S3 select. We already have that. Now we were talking about directory buckets, which is a particular S3 feature where we can actually have directories. The regular S3 right now is just a flat design where we don't actually have directories, a tree directory. Instead, we have a flat prefix or suffix namings that can make it look like a directory, but it's not. But now AWS has this S3 directory buckets where we can have directories, actually. Directories. It has low latency. It's high performance. And that's it. It works in the S3 Express 1 zone. We can monitor this like regular S3 bucket with CloudWatch, CloudTrail. We can encrypt. Alright, so that is directory buckets. So let's continue with it, because it has a lot of things to offer. Alright. Okay, S3 Express 1 zone directory buckets. So where is that? The use cases we read that differences for directory buckets. Let's check this one. High performance. Alright, the use case is clear. It's gonna be fast performer, really high performance. It will be hosted in the S3 Express 1 zone availability zone. Network for directory buckets in a availability zone. So what does that mean? It's basically endpoints. We need an endpoint in the VPC in order to have fast access to the S3 bucket. Pretty regular. Regional and zonal endpoints for directory buckets. Okay, nothing strange. Optimizing S3 and 1 zone performance. How to optimize even more the latency. Okay, not much, mostly theory, troubleshooting. No, nothing explicit. Let's skip that. So what's this? Data residency workloads. Data residency workloads. It's like where the files are going to be hosted. AWS has dedicated local zones. Do they have that? Yes, no. Dedicated local zones. No, I don't have that. Okay, this is the thing. Data residency workloads. This is an interesting thing to know. Okay. You can create in dedicated local zones. You can create S3 buckets. Okay, there is on S3, zone infrequent access. So what is a dedicated local zone? Let's check that out. AWS dedicated local. Is it like an on-prem thing? On-prem installation where AWS have access to it? AWS dedicated local zones. So let's see what it is. What is it? What is it? Oh. Cloud infrastructure built specifically for you to help address regulatory and digital sovereign needs. It's like you have a space in AWS for your project or company. Get started. Contact support. Is this queue? Okay. What exactly is a dedicated local zone for my S3 directory buckets? Okay. Ouch. This is queue, but sales representative. This is not queue. This is trying to connect me with sales team. No, it's not. Infrastructure fully managed by AWS. Okay. Placed in a location or data center specified by you that complies with regulatory requirements. You can create S3 buckets in that place, in that specific data parameter. So that's what I thought. That is what I thought. So why I don't have those nodes? Now let's put another one here. Dedicated local zone. Hosted. Can be a data center provided by customer and managed by AWS. Cool. Concepts for directory buckets and local zones. Okay. Before creating the buckets in that place, local zone. Local zone is connected to the parent region using AWS redundant and very high bandwidth private network. Okay, it has its own networking things to make it faster. They all use the S3 Express namespace. Okay, that's interesting to know for queries. It uses S3 express for as namespace. Namespace SQL, let's say. Okay, how to enable accounts for dedicated local zones. Private connectivity, and again it's gonna be an endpoint. Type gateway. It has to be gateway endpoint. Okay, what else? How to create a directory. AWS S3. S3 create bucket. Okay, bucket name. Create bucket configuration. Location. Type local zone. Name local zone ID. Bucket. Data redundancy. Single zone. Type directory. Region. Parent region. Okay, so it has to have an explicit name convention, which is the bucket base name, then the zone ID, dash zone ID, dash x dash s3. That is interesting to know. Naming convention. No, create. So it has to be via using AWS CLI. The target is S3 API. And the option create bucket. Create bucket. Okay. Naming convention. Naming. Let's see, foobar dash zone ID dash x dash s3. Let's mark this one because this one is needed in order to have the bucket, and specify dash create bucket configuration specify type directory. Okay, good. Let's continue. Authenticating and authorizing. Hey, AWS has this option where we can have a custom dashboard. A public dashboard where we can allow people to navigate our S3 files, and can even be integrated with AWS S3 Cognito. Like if we had files in a server with an index of type of simple web application where we can navigate files. That kind of listing or indexing web feature is something that AWS S3 can also provide. And that's called, what is this called? What's the name of the service? Keywords, performance. I don't have that and I don't want to forget it. Okay, let's take a note. Otherwise, I'm going to forget this. Directory buckets? No, it's not. That's not it. What was the thing? Shit. Let's take a note here. Where? This way. Next we can give a web app with index file listing. can be integrated with Cognito for user authentication. Good. Let's continue. Okay. Amazing. Authenticating and authorizing for directory buckets in local zones. So that's AAM, as I can read here. S3 Express, interesting. This is also the what is this? Also for AAM policies. So that is the specific namespace that we need to use for the policies. If we want to give permissions like listing, reading, updating maybe. So we have string conditions there. Okay, what else? VPC endpoint policy. Create session. A string not equals if exists. Local zone network border group value. Oh, this is crazy. I don't get this. S3 Express all access restricted to local zone group, to a specific network parameter maybe. Okay, that's crazy. Oh yeah, differences for directory buckets. Wow, what's this now? When using S3, you can choose bucket type that best fits your application and performance requirement. Directory bucket is for low latency. Yeah, I already know that. Or data residency use cases. Okay, that's a good use case. Low latency, or I already say that. Let's say it again. Dedicated local zone, which is own data center. All right, own data center. Own data center. Not AWS one, but managed by AWS. Differences. Directory bucket names. Okay, it has a suffix. Yeah, I know that. Which the availability zone is explained. Okay. The list objects B2 behavior. One gives the prefix, the slash prefix. I don't get that. It's just a matter to have one of them has an slash at the end, the other one doesn't. Deletion behavior. When you delete something recursively, okay. When you delete something recursively, AWS can delete the directories in the middle if those directories are empty. Or no? Oh yeah. If I have a bunch of three directories, a tree directory with a bunch of directories which are basically empty, and one of the children has a file that I'm deleting, then the directories that are empty in the middle are going to be deleted as well. Not that interesting for me to know, but that's for directory buckets. Regular bucket simply going to maintain the empty directories, which we know are not directories per se. Okay. API operations. Okay, what else is different but significant? Regional and zonal endpoints. regional endpoints. There is something here that I don't get. Oh, it has a regional endpoint. Zonal endpoints, you specify both the region and the availability zone. Nice. It has a regional endpoint. Even though the bucket can be in one single zone, availability zone, regardless of that, it still can have a regional endpoint. Okay, that's good to know. Endpoint. One zone can have regional and what's the other one? Zonal endpoint. So this is S3 Express. Let's put this so I can remember. S3 Express dot, a lot of dots, dot Amazon AWS.com. Local zones are supported for directory, not general purpose. What? Local zones are only supported for directory, but it's not purpose. That's interesting to know. Local zones. All right, yeah, that makes sense. API operations. What we can do? Create, delete bucket lifecycle policy, get lifecycles, list directories. Zonal endpoints API operations. Create session, copy object, delete object, blah blah blah. Amazon S3. Features not supported by buckets. A bunch of them, like managed policies, private link, MD5 checksums, MFA authentication, delete. This is interesting. If I want to delete an object, I can make sure that the session has a valid MFA session. Requester pays, S3 grants, bucket tags, etc., etc., are things that are not available for directory buckets. Let's take a note. Some regular S3 features are not available for directory buckets. Like what? MFA delete. MFA delete. Let's say there is a bunch of things. Bucket tags. No. S3 select. Oh, that's interesting. Useful, but not available. What else? Static web hosting. We cannot host a web page there. Static web hosting. What else? Versioning. Oh, critical. There is no versioning. Versioning. Etc. Etc. What else? Networking for directory buckets. That's interesting. What can I do with it? Endpoints. Yeah, we know it needs endpoints. By using gateway VPC endpoints. Well, let's just take a note on that. Network requires VPC gateway endpoint. Okay, perfect. Naming rules. What? What's this? No, I did it wrong. What's going on? Networking for directory, yeah, I've been there. Directory bucket naming rules, yeah, we know that. It requires a specific, yeah, there might be specific cases like has to start with a letter, lowercase, should start and end with a letter or a number. It allows hyphens only, not all specific special cases. Cannot start with some reserved words for AWS. Okay, that's something that it's good to know. Managing bucket policies. We're moving forward. Okay, bucket policies. It supports bucket policies, but what kind of policies? CLI. Now let's see what it says. You can add, delete, update, and view bucket policies for S3 directory buckets. Like for example, we can put a policy to a bucket, we specify the JSON content, and we get the proper permissions. Okay. Supports bucket regular bucket policies. Emptying a directory bucket, I mean deleting the content, deleting the directory bucket, which is gonna be delete bucket, nothing special about it. Listing, list directory bucket, yeah, it has its own target. Determine if you can access or not, or okay. Working with objects in a directory bucket. Okay, well, let's put here. Can list, empty, delete. No. Now working with objects in directory bucket. Security for directory, login with a cloud trail and what? Nothing else. Okay, it's a lot. Let's stop there. Good to know. Let's go to cloud and chat. Yeah, chat. So I'm learning and reading documentation on AWS S3 directory buckets. Give me some examples I can do to practice myself using Terraform. Okay, I'm learning, no, I'm reading AWS S3 directory bucket. From AWS S3 documentation, give me a summary overview so I check I'm not missing anything. Come on, Sonnet, do your work. Okay, so this is like the settings, appearance, light. Okay. Okay, this sucks. Team system. No, system doesn't work. Light. Okay, I can read it better. Do I have the dark mode enabled or what? No. Okay, let's see what DeepSeek says first. S3 directory buckets are designed to enhance the way how objects are organized and managed within AWS S3. Hierarchical organization. Introduce hierarchical structure similar to file system. Blah blah blah. Improved performance, compatibility with S3 API use cases. Large number of objects that needs to be organized in a structured way. Access control, lifecycle management, monitoring, cost management can potentially reduce costs. Regional availability and migrations and integrations. So now let's see some examples that use Terraform. So we have the specific target, AWS S3 directory bucket, bucket name, server-side encryption. Server-side encryption, I guess it supports also the customer managed key encryption. Pretty regular, nothing crazy. We also have an example on how to use this with custom AAM policy, where we can allow some things like S3 express, list, get, put, and create sessions. We can have a role. We can create multiple buckets with life cycles per environment. I have here dev, staging, and prod in the different class expiration storage classes. Or life cycle. Well, that storage classes are basically used as a life cycle in Terraform, so we can put it into different tier or objects based on expiration days and what's this transition days. Okay. We iterate them, we enable the life cycle, we move the objects to Glacier, as I can see here. Notifications with SNS. So for what? The topic has been created here. S3 bucket notification resource. You specify the topic. When the event is S3 object created or S3 object removed. And also we have some filters, like if the object is created and if the prefixes uploads, then we got a notification. Something is removed and the suffixes .log, we have a notification. Good example. Cross-account access, that's good, that's interesting. So we can have multiple AWS accounts having access to the same directory bucket. Cool, simple. Okay, let's go with Django. Welcome to the Django. So what we've been working before. We've been talking about the relationships, how to create objects in Django using relationships like many to many, many to one. Is that it? One to many is missing here, which I guess it's over here. Yes, it is. Create one to many. So what is this? I have a relationship here where we create things. Many to one or one to many using foreign key. Many to many, where we explicitly use many to many field. One to one field. I didn't know that. Ooh, okay. We knew how to create models and objects The database, the ORM thing, what is it for? What kind of databases are supported by Django? What fields have mostly? The other day I realized we have a lot of fields that can be supported by Django, like data fields, integer, strings, chars, really a bunch of things. How to create migrations, how to explore migrations, and relationships. And then CRUD. Yeah, we're doing CRUD, create, read, update, delete. But we were doing creation basically. And we're still doing creations, which is part of CRUD. Now we need to know how to read, update, delete. But the read is the complex one because we don't just get everything from the database. We filter, we order, we query objects with this powerful queue function from Django ORM. So that's it. Let's go. Django. Where's this thing? That is chapter 2, and I already read this before, but I forgot everything. So I had to read it again. Relationships. Good. Primary keys. This is the one-to-one. Many-to-one. Okay. So this is showing how to create objects with relationships in place or in the middle. One-to-one relation. So one-to-one is what? Foreign key, which is kind of the one many-to-one or one-to-many. Is it the same? All I know is the models that foreign key, and we specify what's the relation model, and that's it. Model methods. Methods of the model, yeah. Migrating. Migrate, so the things are created in the database. So this is doing some CRUD operations. It's creating the object. So here I need to use the shell, the Django shell, in order to create objects by myself. But also a good idea is to create test files, so I can create objects using tests. So later I can test my models by running the tests, which is also a really good idea. Tests for making sure the logic of my code is working, and the shell just to validate the logic of my code, and also troubleshoot the bug issues. Okay, it is creating things from the shell, but obviously it needs to be imported, the models and the Django DB library. What's that's the library? One second. What is the library that needs to be imported in order to work with models? What is an example? Django contrib for authentications. Where is this thing? I'm feeling like a nerd. I am a nerd. Okay, Django.db. From that package we import models. Django.db import models, okay? DjangoDB. The other thing is Django.contrib. The other thing is Django.utils. Yeah. Django.models, Django.contrib, Django.utils. Okay. Let's go. So we import those libraries, but for what? It's actually not needed. Yes, as well, here in the exercise is directly loading the model in order to start creating objects in the database. It's using the dot save. The dot create also works. Still creating, still doing some tests. So we're importing here from datetime import date, which is Python only. Okay, we're still doing that. Importing more objects to do the exercise of create an object with many-to-many relationships. This is many-to-many using the add method. Right? One is the add, the other one which is what is the set or the dot create. And we specify a set, so they have that. Add. And this is the third way. Yeah, using the set for many to many. Yeah, that's it. We got that. Read operations. So party starts from here. How to get information, how to filter, how to order. And so a lot of things that I don't think I'm gonna be able to complete right now. But that is chapter 2. So we are close. Okay. Let's see the get method, which is read. I'm getting tired. Database. Okay, dot get, that's it. Then we need to iterate the results. Oh no, but it is just trying to get one particular object. Dot get, I mean publisher dot object dot get, and I specify what I want to get. Anything that's called, what has the name, blah blah blah. But what if I have a bunch of results? This is assuming we have just only one result, and it's getting access to the parameter, to the properties like that name, that website, that email. So turn up an object using the get method. Objects that get. We specify the filter to search, the parameter to search. And we are doing the same. We are doing the same. Exercise. Using the all method to retrieve a set of objects. Well, that all means everything, right? Get everything. In this case, get all the contributors. And then that seems to be an array that I can iterate. Retrieving objects by filtering. Filter. Okay, we have filter method now. And by filter means I specify one of the parameters of or the properties of the object I want to filter. I specify that here in between parentheses. First names, for example. So it's pretty much the .get function. Both seem similar. So what's the difference? If we have more than one object for a field value, then we cannot use the get method, since the get method can return only one object. For such cases, we have to use filter. Does that sound right? I mean, the .get should be able to get a bunch of objects too, not just one. Let's see. Django provides us with methods to allow to read and retrieve data from database. We can retrieve a single object from the database using the get method. We have already created a few records in the previous section, so let's use the get method to retrieve an object. So is that true? I need to test it myself. Okay, that's gonna be a question for later. Get is for one object, that all is for everything, that filter is for one or more objects to be returned. Filtering by field lookups. Ah, that's interesting. We can use less than or equal to, greater than or equal to operations to filter. Contains, we can use contains for strings. What else? We can also exclude based on what? We can also exclude. The following is a list of all contributors. Let's see. Yeah, the all, yeah, that's right. Now if we want to exclude people that are called Peter, so we use the dot exclude and we specify we want to exclude, what we want to exclude. Okay, pretty straightforward. The order by date. So basically I specify the field that I wanted to use it for filtering. Order by, I can do the dash publication date, which I guess is gonna be order from bottom to top or top to bottom. Order by ID, order by dash ID. Pretty straightforward. Querying acts across relationships. Okay, that's gonna be more to read. Let's document this, which seems to be pretty easy. Okay, let's talk about .get. This can get an object from DB. One object. Example, let's say publisher. And P is equal to publisher. That object, that get. And I specify, let's use the same name, foobar. Okay, then we have what is this? What we have here? The all. This is to retrieve a set of objects. It doesn't say all the objects, just a set of objects. So how can I know? How do I know what objects? It seems to be all. Anyways, dot all retrieves set of objects. Let's see, all. Example, P equals publisher dot objects, yeah, objects dot all. That's it, no arguments. Filter retrieves set of objects by a parameter, parameter to search, like for example contributors. Let's say contributors equal to contributor, model is contributor, dot object dot filter, and I specify the, let's say foo equals bar. Great. Fill lookups. Lookups. So I can apply some operations here, like dash dash lt equal to dash dash greater than equal. This is not dash. I don't know what's this. Underscore lower than equals, yeah, greater, less than or equal to, underscore greater than or equal to. We also have contains, I'm pretty sure there are more, so etc. And also we have exclude similar to filter, but for exclusions. Okay, we have there. Order by. Order by ascendant, descendant, using the minus. That's it. And then what we have here, how to use those lookups, but using for relationships and to search for relationships, like searching all the books that their authors start with the letter A on their names. Okay, you need to ask something. You need to validate this. Let's see. And I want to see the code as well. I'm reading about Django models and reading operations with get, filter, exclude, and order by. All. Show me code examples, purpose of each of them. Deep think. Not quite sure if it's gonna be better than Cloud Sonnet. I just need fast examples so I can continue on. But this one is going to take some time. Okay. Go. DeepSeek takes time. Oh my god. Okay, let's go. Okay, we have a good example called products. So how to use get? Retrieve a single object. Throws and exceptions if no match or multiple matches are found. That's good to know. With exceptions if no or one plus results. That's clear enough. So we have to use try except blocks. We need to catch the exception if we want to use the get. Filter returns a query set. That's an object type of Django, so that's good to know. And we can pass multiple filters in the middle. Price lower than and the number. product.objects filter quantity greater than name starts with, that's another example, contains starts with exclude exclude filter, it's combining both of them. Cool. So I can chain these functions. The dot all return all objects in the table. Now, interesting. Chaining methods. Okay, you're already doing that. Filter, exclude, order by, etc. Pretty straightforward. Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat. DeepSeek. Now let's go with what? What? Some light should be here. Need to check ReactJS, PyTorch, webforms. Let's see, can I do something here? I don't think. Very quick start. Do you have something about React? I don't know anything about ReactJS, and I'm switching to it from Vue.js. Okay, ReactJS. I'm glad that I'm finally starting with it. ReactJS, yes. Okay, teach me something, documentation. Why you are dark? I want it to be light. Turn the light on. Welcome to React documentation. This will give you an introduction of 80% of the React concepts that you will use on a daily basis. Okay, only 80%, not the 100%. So what? Creating and nesting components. Oh, straightforward. But how to create my project? Okay, React are components. Components a piece of the UI. Okay. Are JavaScript functions. A component is gonna be our JavaScript function. It's gonna render HTML. A function that returns something. Now that you've declared the button, you can test it in another component. So I have this component, which is another function that has been exported. Export the full function in my app, and inside I'm returning HTML, and also I'm embedding my predefined component, which call my button. Here we see an example. This is the main application, and inside I'm calling my other component, which is a button. Can I edit this? I don't remember, but I am. Yes, it works. What if I put something wrong? Oh yeah, it's working. JSX, what is this? If you're not familiar, read this. Writing markup with JSX. Markup syntax for the convenience. What the markup syntax you've been seeing above is called JSX. It's optional, but most React projects use JSX for the convenience. It's more restricted than HTML. You have to close tags like BR. Your components also can't return multiple JSX tags. You have to wrap them into a shared parent like. Oh, interesting. Okay. Uses JSX more restricted. HTML can only have one parent tag. Okay, what about the styles? You specify a CSS class name. It works the same as the HTML class attribute. Okay. CSS class name, no class. Okay, I wonder how it works with us with these other frameworks for CSS, which I don't think ever this exists anymore, because we have a bunch of new frameworks for CSS now. Your CSS displaying data. Oh, displaying data with curly braces. It seems like templating, regular templating. I can return something which is going to be replaced by a variable. I have the class name, which is going to be a CSS. Heidi Lamar. Who's Heidi Lamar? It seems like a Charles Chaplin actress. Austrian-born American actress and inventor. Charles Chaplin. What? Oh yeah, they worked. I knew it. Charlie Chaplin and Heidi Lamar at the Mocambo Enigma. Interesting. Actually, Charlie Chaplin dated Heidi Lamar, and after he just film encounter, he observed that in repose Lamar had a face and a body. Charlie Chaplin was accused of communist sympathies. Oh, interesting. Okay, so what's happening here? I have an object which called user with parameters like name, image URL, image size, which is being used in the profile components, which I'm returning an empty empty tags, where we have the h1, the header, and the image being rendered. The image has a class name, a source, the alt, which is using curly braces to replace data from the user object. Nice. Conditional rendering. Wow. What? Conditional rendering. Okay, I will learn about that later. It's logged, then show admin panel. Oh, we have the curly braces to evaluate this Boolean condition. Rendering list. I have a product, an array of objects. And why we have this map? List items. It's creating a map. Oh, it's just basically iterating. It's iterating and taking this product and converting it in a HTML list of things. Interesting. I just need to create the UL HTML tag and pass an array that's gonna be a map of things that I want to put in the list. Nice. That's interesting. Events. Okay, how events are working? On click, handle click, function. My button is the component. Inside that I have, oh no, the component can have the HTML thing, but also can have a internal function that is gonna handle events. That's good to know. Components can have or can handle events. Functions inside the component. Okay, updating the screen. Still, we have a lot of things to do. Chat, dipsic. I'm reading about ReactJS 101 or basics. Show me step by step how to create a custom component with class name, styling, ULA lists using maps. What else? And events, functions. I'm using Arch Linux, so it will show me something more interesting for me to do. I'm not using the R1 model, it should be the B3, so be fast. Okay, first I need to install npm. I got that. I don't know what this npx is, but it creates my React application. Now I create a custom component inside the src folder, the source folder. I will import React from React. I will define the component. Okay, but we are now using constants, list component, handle item click. This is for events, and this is triggering an alert. I can see the map here, but a little bit more complex. But still, it's creating something for all the LIs, the list 8 items, but it's everything inside the unordered list, HTML unordered list. Now it's adding some style, which is CSS basically. And now time to import the component. Oh, I mean the CSS file. That's good. It's important, the CSS file, the CSS. It's also calling the component with no JS extension in the app.js file. The application is defining a list of items which is going to be sent later to the list component as a parameter. It seems to be easy, to be simple, straightforward. Let's go. Time to sleep.